Good morning, good morning. How are we all doing today? Today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025, and welcome to another live day trading session. And we are live. Markets are pushing higher overnight due to basically a decent inflation report. So it pushed up from 604, or actually from 600 even to 604. We'll see how long that lasts, if it's short-lived or not. It looks like 601 is a pretty strong support. We're still going to put this down to 628 here. Yeah, so it was a decent report, but doesn't mean this has to stay going up. It can also get rejected right off of this 200 moving average. So we'll see what happens. I do have a small position in Sound right now, up about 2% on a very small position, only about $400, up 2% or $8. Now I do want to see this push up a little bit higher, maybe back to some previous levels like $12 and even $13. I could add more to this position as it begins to go up, but as of right now, if it goes up even 5%, it's about $25. If it goes up 10%, it's about $40. And if it goes up to that $13 price point, it'll be about a 13% profit, or about $55. Now my risk, on the other hand, is about 1 to 2%. I'm willing to risk about 2% on this, or about $10, $5 to $10 on this trade. So nothing too crazy. That's probably going to be more or less my swing trade. I'll probably be holding this for several days if it continues to go in my favor. Crypto, on the other hand, selling off this morning. I was able to capture a nice move as it was selling off, and I noticed it was selling off. I was able to take a short in MSTZ. I'm in it currently right now. I bought 50 shares at 14.24 and another 40 at 14.24. So again, holding on to this one for a little bit. Even if this goes up to moving average, that's about a $54 profit, or about 4%. So yeah, excited to be here with you all. Let's see how the market reacts today with these CPI reports and everything else. I believe MSTR can definitely sell off some more. It looks like it's trying to push up, maybe a small bull trap here. And yeah, Bitcoin is actually selling off, so there's no point in this actually pushing up. If you look on the 1 hour, it's getting rejected again right off of this 200 MA. This 200 moving average, it is getting rejected. So that is good to see for a bearish sentiment on crypto. And we'll make sure you guys can hear me okay, see me okay. I believe you can, but the markets are officially open. It says Bitcoin is pushing up. Saying MSTZ is down 10% on the day, as far as it going down from yesterday's highs to lows now, down about 10-11%. MSTR pushing up about 5%. I'd love to see this overbought reaction get rejected again. It is possible. Doesn't have to, but it is definitely possible. As you can see here, even on the 4-hour, getting rejected most every day, honestly. So I'd love to see this come back down. There we go, giving back all of its gains, just like that. So we're going to be very patient with this trade today. And yesterday I could have done a way better job by holding this position longer. I bought and then I sold for a profit right in this range. I bought again and then sold, and all I had to do was hold throughout the day, and we could have been up, you know, $150. The same old story with me. I sold way too early. I could have been up a ton of money, and I just did not hold. Okay, Bitcoin and MSTR, big pullback here on MSTR. I remember I am shorting the market, or I'm shorting Bitcoin. Big sell-off by Bitcoin and MSTR, all the way back up to that moving average. We're going to do our part and sell 40 shares. We're going to sell half of our shares right here at that push up. Nice. And I'm going to sell right here. I know I said I'd be more patient, but why not? Why not take 3% on the day, $40 just like that? Why not? Why not take it right away? I bought at the high. I sold right at the bounce. And just like that, we're up $40 on the day. 3% profit. Let's go ahead and look at our sound position. Sound up another $13 because QQQ is recovering so much. Take another 3.5% on sound. All right, that was very fast. That was a very fast trade. Very fast compared to what I'm used to, that's for sure. Holy moly, that was quick. We're going to continue to hold sound. Maybe we're not actually. I think I'm going to hold on to sound just a little longer. That's okay, I don't mind that. QQQ could recover and take sound up with it. Just the markets are a little bit too crazy right now. 165. Wow, what a beautiful trade. Up $40 in literally seconds. Beautiful. Beautiful move. So MSTR can push back up and it could sell off. And we could always get back in too. See, I think I'm gonna wait on this one. Now it can come a lot more down and it could also push higher. It could also give our money right back. So we don't want to do that. But a nice drop from that moving average right there. Beautiful, beautiful drop. They're going to be patient on this one. Maybe wait for a dip. Going to buy another 50 short here on MSTR. Shorting MSTR by trading MSTZ. I don't want it to be like a scenario from yesterday where it's selling everything off and I give all my money back. All about being patient here on this one. Wanted to lock in some profits. Just got our feet wet a little bit. Come on, MSTR, push down a little bit more. Love to see another push down. QQQ selling off some more. All right, being patient here. Patience is key. There we go, Bitcoin pushing down. MSTR trying to recover while Bitcoin is selling off. Another leg down. Right at that moving average. There we go. Bitcoin selling off a little bit more. Bitcoin back to 87. Gonna have a stop. We're gonna let this ride up as the stop goes up. Okay, we'll see what happens. Bitcoin can sell off some more, then we'll ride this stop loss up on MSTZ. So as this sells off, we're going to increase our stop loss. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. But my risk now is only a few cents, 14.80. Okay, we got stopped out. So not too bad. Not too bad of a trade. I would have loved to see this come down more. But I believe that was the move. Now this can actually push all the way back up if it wants to, and it could also get rejected. So we did a great job by trading this downward limit here. We're going to go for another continuation. Didn't happen, and we're still up a decent amount of money. Now it can still happen throughout the day. I just wanted to capture that trade right there real quick, and we did. And it can push up on MSTZ as Bitcoin can begin to sell off, but then this can also do a full recovery and we could actually lose some money. So, not something I really want to play with right now as far as MSTR goes. Again, it could push all the way back up. It could sell off, but there's just a lot of momentum here. A lot of consolidation where we're seeing signs of a possible reversal. That's just not something I wanted to trade on today, as this again could come all the way back down. So yeah, we did a great job locking in profits. I bought a little bit high on this one at 14.94, literally right at the top here, when I would have been okay just having a nice share price down at 14.24s. And I only bought, was it 50 shares or was it 80? think it was 80 shares. No, I only bought 50, so I still have a chance to buy 40 more shares if I want when it makes sense. But right now, it just does not make sense to trade that. QQQ trying to push up. QQQ selling off. Nasdaq market finding support here. Bitcoin also trying to find support there in that level. Oh, here we go. MSTR trying to sell off again. Ooh. Back up to 1493. A lot of choppiness here in that area, so nothing too crazy. MSTR is going to repeat the same thing it did yesterday. Sell off, push up. It did that on Tuesday as well. Sell off and make a full recovery and go up. Monday, it pushed up as Bitcoin sold off. So it's basically trading within a nice little horizontal pattern right now, as we can see. Maybe if we go out a little bit, I want you guys to be aware of this pattern for MSTZ. Just trading within this little horizontal pattern, even on a smaller scale for the week, trading within 1380s, 1390s, 14, selling at 1580s, buying at 14s, selling at 1580s. MSTR trading within that same little range here, as you can see, just kind of stuck in this little consolidation period for the moment. It's having a hard time getting above these levels. So very nice to see these ranges here of 160 to 169 and just kind of hovering in between these levels right now. It's not going higher, it's not really going any lower. Trading right within that range. $14, selling at 15. So yeah, very nice trade today, very quickly, and not bad at all. One point we're up $40, a little over 2%. And then this trade, I gave just a little bit back from 1494 to 1480. 1494 to 1480. I think I gave back about 10-12 cents on 50 shares. It was like $6. So I made 40, gave back about $6. Not too bad. I am holding one more position. I'm holding Sound. Again, we were up 3% today, up over $12. Sold that one, or holding this one. This one's more of a long-term play for Sound. You know, as QQQ begins to recover, you know, I wouldn't mind buying more Sound and holding it a little bit longer. You know, even right here, we could buy another 50 shares if we wanted to and hold. But it is trying to hold above this moving average right here. And this is another horizontal pattern, right? Just waiting for that breakout. We're going to wait before adding more to this. I'd love to try to catch 12 today. Or tomorrow, I guess. We're going to be patient on adding more to our position on this one. Bitcoin trying to push up, but no real progress. So just doing my part by taking profits where I see fit. Not too bad at all. Could always buy more when direction is in my favor. So we are just waiting for direction to be a little bit more clear. MSTR trying to make a recovery as Bitcoin pushes up. MSTR will follow. Which again, a lot of choppiness right here. Shouldn't even play this little level. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with trying. Already locked in profits on the day. We are up. QQQ pushing up as well. Sound trying to push. Again, this is a position I'll probably be holding overnight. A nice little buy low, sell high strategy here that I'm playing. We add another 14 shares to make an even 50 shares. Okay. Buying another, what did I say, 14 shares to make it even 50 shares at 11.39. Nothing too crazy. Again, buying some from yesterday for that break above the moving average. Buying some today now that it's above the moving average, right? Buying some here with that breakout. Buying some here in that consolidation period. It pulled back just a little bit, but still holding that support. And then buying some as it's holding above these 200 MA levels. Now again, this is a swing trade. Buying for that nice upward momentum here. Risking, literally risking about $10 still to potentially make, if it can go back up to 12 bucks, about another 5% or $30. Goes up to 13, about 14% or $80. So it doesn't have to do it today, but it definitely can do it in the next few days. And if it doesn't, well, then I know what my risk level is. I know how much money I can technically lose. And this will somewhat follow QQQ. If QQQ continues to ride up, great. If not, and it begins to sell off, well, Sound does a great job by holding even with these big sell-offs. But now QQQ is going to have to break this moving average because it's still getting rejected. As you can see this, right before it curled over, it was doing a great job staying above that moving average. Every time it would come down to touch it, it would bounce up. Now it found support at 621, and then as soon as it got below the moving average, it gets rejected. Comes back up, gets rejected. Comes back up, thinking it's going to break above, gets rejected. And right now it's getting rejected. So we want to make sure that, again, we do our part. If this does get rejected and come back down, we don't have any long positions on TQQQ or any other position that could be affected. The open looks like it's tracking and trailing right along with the NASDAQ market as well. You know, bull being pulled down by the market. Sound honestly being pulled down by the market as well. So we're just doing our part by making sure that we stay patient and we have our calculated risk in play. SoFi also getting pulled back down by the market and this moving average. So if you're long, you just need to be aware that every day we're making lower lows. Okay, Intel getting rejected off the moving average. Big dip down on PayPal in the pre-market session. Hood, nice push up, but seeing some rejection in this area at around 124. Nvidia had a big pullback and then had a recovery. Now we're seeing, okay, look, it might get rejected off of this moving average. So moving averages are very important. We want to make sure we get above these moving averages because they act as support with nice little spikes up. And that's when you want to be a bull. Lululemon still holding and pushing higher from its consolidation area. Nice little horizontal pattern breakout here. We can identify this pretty much right here. As you can see, a lot of support at this level. Oh, actually, this should be blue. A lot of support around this level. It did break below it and validated it as a resistance and then popped right back up. And then we got a lot of resistance in this level. And as soon as it got confirmation, it popped up and now it's trading within a new range. Now it's testing its new resistance level as support. You see that? So this would have been resistance yesterday at 222, pushed up to 225, almost 226. Now it's trying to validate this resistance as a support level, and it's very possible that it does. We could potentially see some nice key areas of support now. Again, this was a breakout period. This was a resistance period. Hope that makes sense. Amazon pushing up nicely. Once it got above that moving average and validated it, now it's pushing up. And I love to see that. But it doesn't have to stay up at these levels for long. As you can see here, there is some resistance in that range. For Amazon, around 227, there is some resistance. So it has to break that resistance to get even higher. Apple came all the way back down to a support level that we created, who even knows, back in November. We created this support level, came all the way back down and touched it, and now it's pushing up. So that's a good sign for Apple. Google also getting rejected off of that moving average. So again, need to see a little bit more buyers step in. And Tesla, exactly what I was talking about. Doing a great job by holding its average price above this moving average, holding that level as it has been doing for quite some time, making some nice rallies every day. 496 looks like a new resistance. If it can hold this breakout of previous resistance, we'll get up to another resistance of around 492-ish. So very nice if it can hold this level, making it a support. crypto pushing up. So I'm glad that we did our part by managing our risk. Yes, this can potentially sell off, but it looks like it's just extremely choppy right now. Extremely choppy. It's not even by where our second area that we bought was at 1494. So yeah, looks like it may consider selling off now. Nope, gonna come back down. A lot of consolidation. So again, we did a great job locking in profits. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you're more than welcome to ask them here in our live day trading session, or you could always ask me in the Discord, whether in the main chat, or you can direct message me more privately if you want to talk one-on-one. We could do some one-on-one calls, and you could talk to me a little bit over a Discord phone call. There's a lot of options if you're wanting to learn how to trade, or you just want some insight on what you could do better, or any trade or any stocks that you see value in. I'd love to talk with you about those. And again, if we get a nice big sell-off from Bitcoin and this continues to sell off and this goes below this moving average, because again, it's bouncing right off of the moving average, so it works for Bitcoin too. Not only does it work for stocks, but it works for Bitcoin. This moving average acts as support, but as soon as we get below that support, it can act as a very strong resistance. Let's see. Go back here. See how it's getting weighted down by that moving average? See this huge sell-off at 90, came back up, got rejected, and continued to sell off. Crossed over, a lot of consolidation, and now it's pushing up, using that moving average as support. So if we can get below to the moving average and then come back down, then we could see some more selling pressure. And we've done a great job the last couple days by buying these highs and holding it to the moving average. So that was the trade. We did that yesterday too. Where is it? Is it this one? This is all 1218. Oh, this one right here. So we did a good job again. It pushed all the way up. We shorted this and did a great job by holding it when it came back down. Same with this one. We waited as it consolidated. It broke that moving average and we shorted this as it went back down. So there's plenty of opportunity to make money, whether you're a bull or whether you're a bear. You don't have to be right or wrong. Everyone can win in this market that we play. Buying MSTR in 160 levels, selling in 169 levels, that's $9 a share. Same with MSTZ. Buying at 14, selling at 15, even 1580s can result in you making money. It's all about understanding the different ranges and making sure you get a good entry and a good area to sell. All right. You guys, anybody have any comments? Any questions? Anything? Let's see, the Discord, we are up to now, what are we up to now? 688 members. So 12 more members, will be at 700 members, and then 300 members, 1,000 members, so there's only 300 more free spots left, which is just amazing. Done a great job locking in profits this week. Another $30 to our account. And again, making 1 or 2% a day. You know, I'd love to make 2, 3, 4%, but at the same time, making a consistent 2% a day, 1% a day, that's 5 to 10% a week of growing your account. If you can make 10% a week, within the end of the month, you will be up 40%. So now imagine trading with $10,000, you'll make $4,000 in a month. Maybe you start with $1,000, you make $400 in a month. Now the next month you're trading with $1,400, and then the next month you're trading with $1,800 or $1,900 or $2,000, and then another 40%, you just made $800. So it adds up very quickly, guys. With our sound position, we are actually up 2.5%, $40. QQQ is selling off slightly. Again, we are holding sound for just a little bit. We're only up about $7 right now. We have 50 shares at $11.39. But again, I want to see this push up even higher. Even to the moving average, that's another 3% on this trade. If it pushes up to $12, that's about 5%. If it pushes up to 13, that's a 14% profit, or about $80. Okay. Same with MSTZ. If it starts to show signs of it pushing back up to those $15 levels, we can get back in. We can buy another 50 to 100 shares, and we can make another 5%. 5% on $1,000 trade is $50. So we're just being patient right now. As Bitcoin pushes up, we just did a great job by trading this all the way down to moving average. And you don't need a ton of money to trade either, guys. I started this account with $500. I've started other accounts with $100. And you know, even when I first started, I was putting $5 a week, or no, it was like $5 a day into Robinhood. So then by the end of the week, I'd have $25. And then by the end of the month, I'd have my first $100. So you don't need a ton of money to start trading. It's all about building your account up with real cash that you might have to work for, and then building it up through having skills to trade with. So buying low, selling high, swing trading to those newer levels. Because you don't need a lot, guys. Okay, it's all about like buying a car. Let's take even open $6. Okay, and of course we don't want to look at open right here, but it's a horizontal pattern. It trades horizontally. Say you bought one share at $5.72, just one share. It pushed up in a single day to $7. Okay, you made $1.26 on your first day of trading. Now, what if you held a little longer to these resistance levels? Now that you have a little bit more skill, you're getting a little bit more educated, you're able to understand support and resistance levels, you're watching more of my videos, you're getting a little bit more skilled and a little better. You could have made 35%, $2 per share. Now think about it. If you had 10 shares, that's $20. If you had 100 shares, that's $200. Very simple math. Now, how much did you have to pay to get 10 shares? About $57. and you would make $77 in 2 days. Well, pretty much one day, just buying at the open, selling at the close the next day. Now, what about if it was 100 shares? About $572. Okay, 570 bucks. You sell at 770. Now you have 770 bucks. So you made $200 or $100 per day. And you had multiple days to sell to lock in your profits. If you weren't able to sell or you weren't as experienced to take profits right away, you had many days to lock in those profits. Same with when you zoom out. This has room to come back down to 574 and bounce, but it doesn't necessarily have to. So that's when you have to do your part by, okay, maybe I buy 10 or 20 shares at $6, and if it comes down to 574, maybe I buy another 10 or 20 shares. Now you have a nice little average down here, and you hold, and when it does pop up, you make some money. 30% profit. 30% on 100 is 30 bucks. 30% on 1,000 is $300. I'm not saying for you to trade open. I'm just giving you an example of what I do, right? What I'm showcasing to you guys. Bull has been a descending pattern for quite some time. I wouldn't suggest you trading this because it's downward trend. Now maybe with this double bottom, there's opportunity again to buy some shares at $8, $8.50, and then selling at about $9, $9.50. It doesn't mean you have to. Same with my position on sound. I like the area down here of support of about 11 because I know it could potentially go up to 13. Now if it breaks 11, I'm not going to hold down to 9 or 8 or 7 or 6. I'm just going to get out. I'm just going to get out of that position and not have to worry about it anymore. I'd love to buy more shares right now at 11.16. But because the markets are selling off now, right, testing this moving average again and getting rejected off of this moving average, it's not showcasing signs of upward momentum. It's actually showcasing signs of more selling pressure. That's why I set my alerts too. You could set alerts and not trade. And you could paper trade. There's also a thing called paper trading where you can practice without any real cash. Maybe you're waiting to get your income tax. Maybe you're waiting for your paycheck. Maybe you have money in the bank account, but you're not willing to use it just yet because you're trying to educate yourself and learn how to trade. Well, you can paper trade. There's a setting here on WEBULL to paper trade. There's also plenty of other accounts that allow paper trading. I believe Moomoo does, TD Ameritrade. I'm sure there's some other brokerages out there that do. I don't believe Robinhood does, but that's okay, right? Just whatever platform you're using. You can even test share buy one share. It's not going to kill you if you lose a buck or two, and start getting your mind and your skill level better as far as emotional control, managing risk, locking in profits when opportunity presents itself. And this moving average scared me. That's why I locked in profits. Now, if we could have got a breakout and it sold off more, then I wouldn't have mind holding MSTZ a little longer, but I did a great job. We tried to buy the breakout. Didn't work. We sold the area that it didn't break out, and now it's just consolidating. Still locking in profits on the day, still making money, and still walking away in the green. I cannot pronounce your name. YZXC. I shorted SanDisk earlier in the morning. Okay. SanDisk. I'd love to see what that looks like. SanDisk Corp. Ooh, very nice. You shorted it early in the morning. Were you profitable? Because this looks a little choppy here. Is this even the right one? Am I looking at the right ticker? Buying a high at 230 and selling a low at 219-ish. A nice $10 per share, about 4% profit. Very nice. Let's take a look out. Oh yeah, okay, I can see why. Maybe you're still holding. SanDisk is the #1 top performer in the S&P 500 of year 2025. Too high. This is insane, right? From $40 all the way up to $287. Now it's below the moving average. A lot of consolidation, but you could tell the moving average is beginning to curl over. It has a descending pattern from 287.49, starting to show a descending pattern here. Nice rejection off of that level. Nice rejection off of that level. Didn't quite touch, so I could see this potentially squeeze up a little bit more and then get a nice flush down possibly. But still, very nice. It got rejected right off of that moving average. It's in the same business as Micron. Yeah, MU, Micron Technology. This one has been insane for a while. We've been watching it even back when it was like $40. I've actually done videos on this over 6 to 8 years ago on MU. And I was long on it for many, many years. Looks like there's some resistance at about 264. And it looks like it's trying to hold this as a support level here at 241. Nice little horizontal pattern. When you look out at the 4-hour chart, a lot of horizontal pattern here. Looks like there's more support around 225 though, to be honest. Do you see that right there? So buying low at 225, selling high at 250s. Now getting rejected, waiting for it to come down to retest the moving average. Cool, very interesting. Bitcoin still holding up. MSTR struggling, but the 45 EMA did cross over the 200 EMA, or MA. Very interesting. We could see some more selling pressure. This could go up even more. Or it could push up. QQQ trying to hold those levels. Doesn't mean it has to. Same with Sound. Not really doing much. Now, SoundHound AI has had a nice run from $11 to $22, making 100%. A 100% growth and giving it all back. But I have a feeling it has potential to do it again eventually. Maybe not right now, but eventually. I bought CNDK puts when market opened today. Strike price 205. Nice. Expiring 12/19. 205. Let's see. Okay, so just slightly above where that 45 EMA is. and at a previous low. Very nice. Okay. Hey, well, keep me up to date on this in the Discord. Keep me up to date on this, because if it breaks this, you can definitely get it. Could see that happening for you. All right, looks like we've been live for 55 minutes, almost an hour. I'll keep you guys updated on my positions throughout the day in the Discord. Tomorrow, Japan increased interest rates. Okay, looking forward to it. Looking forward to more selling pressure in the market. I'm not biased, long or short. It doesn't matter to me. I just like to show up, see direction and opportunity, and take advantage. So, thanks for spending some time with us today. I know there'll be plenty of people watching this later. I know a lot of our members can't show up at market open for whatever reason, but they need to start. They need to start showing up. And again, I appreciate your guys' time. And remember, let's end the year on a green note. You guys have a great rest of your day. Later, guys.